let us discuss about the concept standard deviation. And here standard deviation is one of the most important the method of studying uh, the huge differences or the scatteredness of all the observations in the given series. And the standard deviation, the concept of standard deviation was introduced by first introduced and used by Carl Pearson in the year of 1893, and it is the most commonly used measure of dispersion as it satisfies most of the properties laid down for an ideal measure of dispersion. And it is the most important measure of dispersion, and it is widely used in many statistical formulae. And standard deviation is also called as root mean square deviation, or mean error, or mean square error. And the reason is that it is the square root of the means of the squared deviation from the arithmetic mean. And the standard deviation which provides accurate result. And the calculation of a mean deviation as a major the drawback of ignoring the algebraic signs. And this the drawback is overcome in the calculation of a standard deviation. And standard deviation is also called known as root mean square deviation. And uh, the concept standard deviation has been defined as positive square root of the mean of the squared deviations of given observations from their arithmetic mean. And in short, standard deviation is root mean squares deviation from mean, and it is denoted by the Greek letter sigma. So here standard deviation refers to it is a positive the square root, positive square root of mean of the squared deviations of given observations from their arithmetic mean. So here we can calculate standard deviation by using any one of these using arithmetic mean and the assumed mean. And d ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. d ಕಂಡಿಡಿದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ d ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಕ್ವಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. therefore square root of square root of the mean of the squared deviations of given observations. So therefore standard deviation sigma is equal to root of sigma d square by n minus sigma d by n whole square. So this is the formula of calculating standard deviation. So therefore it is a positive square root of the mean of the squared deviations of given observations from their arithmetic mean. So therefore it is relative, its relative measure is known as coefficient of variation, uh, and it is denoted by the letter uh, uh, capital letters CV, means it stands for coefficient of variation. It is given by the formula CV is equal to coefficient of variation. It's a relative measure. Relative measure, its relative measure is known as coefficient of variation. So the formula to calculate CV coefficient of variation is equal to uh, sigma by mean into 100. Now calculation of a standard deviation. So standard deviation can also be calculated under three heads. They are individual observation, discrete series, and continuous series. Now, uh, calculating standard deviation for individual observation. And here standard deviation can be calculated in individual observation and under two methods. They are deviations taken from actual mean or arithmetic mean. When actual mean is used for taking deviations of all the items, so then formula to calculate sigma is equal to root of sigma x square by n, where x is equal to x minus x bar. And then another, the head of head for calculating standard deviation is deviations taken from assumed mean. uh, when it is used to take deviations for calculating standard deviation, then the formula sigma is equal to root of sigma d square by n minus sigma d by n whole square, where d is equal to x minus a. So these are the formulae where we used to calculate standard deviation. And the standard deviation can be calculated by using any one of these actual mean or assumed mean. Now, uh, here we can clearly understand by solving the given example number one. Calculate standard deviation and its coefficient of variation from the following data by taking deviations from actual mean and assumed mean. So here wages ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಇದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, x ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So from this given data, we have to calculate standard deviation as well as its coefficient of variation. And here values are given. So the given values are to be shown in the first column as x ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. So in second column, we have to make the difference of all the given values from x bar. Therefore x is equal to x minus x bar. X represents as x x minus x bar. So x minus x bar is equal to x. Here before making differences of all the items, first we should calculate x bar, means arithmetic mean. So yeah, arithmetic mean x bar for individual observation, the formula x bar is equal to sigma x by n. Sigma x is equal to total of all the observations 150 divided by n, number of items, because this is individual observation, divided by 5 is equal to 30. This is what the value of arithmetic mean. Now x minus x bar, x minus 30. So here 10 minus 30 is equal to minus 20. 20 minus 30 minus 10. 30 minus 30 0. 40 minus 30 plus 10. 50 minus 30 plus 20. Here we should consider both the sign of positive as well as the negative, because this is standard deviation. But we ignore the sign in the case of calculating the problems on mean deviation. Now make it as a square. x na x square ಮಾಡಿ minus 20 square, minus 20 into minus 20, 400, minus 10 square, 100, minus 10 into minus 10, that becomes 100. 0, 10 square, 100, 20 square, 400. Now D difference, D is equal to x minus a, because when we use assumed mean to take the difference of all the observations, then a is here, uh, a is 10 minus x minus a, means 25. 25 here, a is uh, so 25 is taken as a assumed mean. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 25 ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು assumed mean ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ x minus 25, here you take anyone as assumed mean for to make differences. ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸೀರೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ನಂಬರ್ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಎ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಯರ್ I took 25 as assumed mean. So therefore 10 minus 25 minus 15, 20 minus 25 minus 5, 30 minus 25 plus 5, 40 minus 25 plus 15, 50 minus 25, 25. Therefore sigma d is equal to 25. So difference plus 45 minus 20 is equal to 25. Now make it as a square, d square ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. minus 15 square whole square, 225 minus 5 square 25, 5 square 25, 15 whole square 225, 25 square means 625. Therefore sigma d square is equal to 1125. So therefore the formula to calculate standard deviation when we are using actual mean, sigma is equal to root of sigma x square by n is equal to sigma 1000 divided by 5 is equal to root of root 200 is equal to 14.14 rupees. This is what the value of standard deviation when we use actual mean to take the differences of all the observations. And now deviations from assumed mean. So uh, the formula to calculate standard deviation when we use assumed mean. So standard deviation can be calculated by using uh, any of two methods. One is by using actual mean and by using assumed mean. So this is the thing in which we have to keep in mind. So standard deviation is equal to root of sigma d square by n minus sigma d by n whole square. So when we use uh, assumed mean, then the formula root of sigma d square by n minus sigma d by n whole square is equal to root of sigma d square 1125 divided by n is equal to number of items or number of observations 5 minus sigma d 25 divided by 5 whole square, which is equal to, ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸೊ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 225 ಮೈನಸ್ 25 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 200. So the square root of 200 is equal to 14.14 rupees. So both the methods will give us the same answer, 14.14. So coefficient of variation CV is equal to sigma by mean into 100. So sigma 14.14 divided by arithmetic mean 30 into 100 is equal to 47.133%. Now calculate standard deviation and coefficient of variation from the following data. So marks values are given. So given values are to be shown in the first column, and in the second column we have to take the difference by using assumed mean. Here I am using assumed mean, to for taking differences. So assumed mean ಮೆಥಡ್ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. X minus a. So a is here 25 is taken as a. Assumed method is to be used to calculate standard deviation. D is equal to x minus a. D equals x. So here 25 is taken as a. 5 minus 25 minus 20. 10 minus 25 minus 15. 15 minus 25 minus 10. 20 minus 25 minus 5. 25 minus 25 0. 30 minus 25 plus 5. 35 minus 25 plus 10. 40 minus 25 15. 45 minus 25 20, and 50 minus 25 25. Therefore d is calculated. So after making taking the difference, then you make it as ಸ್ಕ್ವಯರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಂದರೆ ಡಿ ಇರೋದು ಡಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವಯರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. -20 ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವಯರ್ ಅಂದರೆ 400. -15 ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವಯರ್ ಅಂದರೆ 225. -10 ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವಯರ್ ಅಂದರೆ 100. -5 ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವಯರ್ ಅಂದರೆ 25. 0 0 5 square big that 25. 10 square means 100. 15 square means 225. So like that we have to make the squares of d. Now sigma d is equal to is equal to 25, and sigma d square equals 2125, and n is equal to number of items 10. So deviations taken from assumed mean. So when we take deviations from assumed mean, then the formula to calculate standard deviation, sigma is equal to root of sigma d square by n minus sigma d by n whole square. So sigma d square 2125 by n number of items, because this is individual series, and minus sigma d 25 by n 10. 25 by 10 whole square is equal to root of 2125 by 10 means 212.5 minus 6.25. When we are simplifying, that becomes ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 206.25 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ the square root of 206.25 is equal to 14.36 rupees. This is what the value of standard deviation. Now coefficient of variation, cv is equal to sigma by mean into 100. Sigma 14.36 mean, so already calculated, or here sigma is equal to, means arithmetic mean is equal to sigma x by n. Sigma x by n. So sigma x by n, sigma x total sigma x total ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. Sigma x total of all the observations divided by n. 10 ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಎನ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 27.5. ಸೊ ಬೈ ಅಪ್ಲೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ formula, x bar is equal to sigma x by n. So you can find out the value of x bar, that is 27.5 into 100 is equal to 52.218%. This is what coefficient of variation. Therefore this is the uh, uh, this is the way in which we are going to compute the value of standard deviation by using arithmetic mean as well as assumed mean.